Now that we're back, and I have some chips and salsa with me, nom nom nom. Let's make a second level fighter from our first. I'm at the fighter entry in the playtest book. I should do food reviews. What would you want me to review, though? I appreciate that you would like my input on whether or not I think something is good or not. Well, all right. So at level 2, we're gonna get a fighter feat and a skill feat. So let's scroll down. Here are our selections for our second level feats. Okay, so we're a shield user, so this could work for us. We're not really a ranged weapon or a two-handed melee weapon fighter. A dueling parry, well, we have a shield, so that one's not really going to be in our style. Improved combat grab, that might be able to work. Intimidating strike. Your strike not only wounds creatures, but also shatters their confidence. Make a melee strike. It gains the following enhancement. The target is frightened 1 and becomes flat-footed until the end of your turn. Well, we are versed in the arcane. We are a smart fighter. Yeah, aggressive shield is that's just something that we could use by being a shield user too. Interesting in the wording, though, of intimidating strike. Your strike not only wounds creatures, but also shatters their confidence. Make a melee strike. It gains the following enhancement. The target is frightened 1 and becomes flat-footed until the end of your turn. As it's worded, unless I've missed something, you get that just for making a strike, whether you hit or not. And maybe that's the point, because it does take 2 actions of your 3 on your turn. But it looks like you can set up for free. Whether you hit or not, you can just make an intimidating strike and you'll gain the benefits of the frightened status and flat-footed. Let's see, it says until the end of your turn. So I guess that means what? If someone was holding their turn until I did this as a setup, I guess, so that they could gain the benefits of frightened 1 and flat-footed on the enemy. So it seems like that's a prompting kind of ability, right? Because it says only until the end of your turn. You have to signify which biome You want to adventure in Opal Dragon. You know, well, I guess Dueling Parry is not against touch AC. So I was wondering, is Dueling Parry just better than having a shield? They both take an action to use. So Opal, it would be something like random plains with no space in between random or plains. Or random forest with no space. Oh, what's going on, Daniel? Tundra is not a biome yet. It's plains, forest, dungeon, tomb, U, the letter U dark for Underdark, and epic. All right, Daniel, exclamation point 2d20. And unfortunately, Daniel, you get roasted. Disadvantage is a 6 plus 2 is 8, and you needed a 12. Alright, so let's take a reaction of aggressive shield. I think we can actually get use out of that. Oh, that's not a reaction, that's a free action. Okay. Nope. So I filled in under reactions and free actions here. So here is our level 2 feat. And we get something else too. A fighter feat, and then we get a skill feat. Okay. Is it not under skills? 162. Here we go. Unfortunately, the wolf pack savages you, Daniel. You came out of some roasted meat, and it was just too tempting for the wolves. So, Opal Dragon, you have disadvantage. It's exclamation point 2d20. Alright, so you already rolled 1d20. If it ever prompts you to have advantage or disadvantage, you can abbreviate things by rolling or by typing exclamation point 2d20. As you already rolled 1, I mean, go ahead and roll, and you can do another exclamation point 1d20. Unfortunately, is you got to keep the lowest. It looks like you're not going to win anyway. But it's I don't know, what if you get a 1? You kind of fall on your own sword kind of a thing. Alright. There are all of these skill feats. I really don't want to read every single one of them here on stream. So let's look at the skills in which we're trained, and let's pick one that just sounds kind of cool. Okay, so Opal, unfortunately the lion got ya. I like the ones that are shaped like little bowls, so you can scoop easier. Yeah, Opal Dragon, a lion gotcha. However, all is not lost. Here, Opal Dragon. I'll give you a free come back to life spell. I want you to type exclamation point res please. R-E-Z-P-L-Z. And, well, you might not be the same coming out of the temple as you were going in, but hey, at least you'll be alive again. DJ Delta, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to res, just type in res, please, Daniel. What is Arcane Sense? Study magic allows you to sense its presence around you instinctively. You can cast level 1 Detect Magic as an innate spell at will. If you're a Master of Arcana, it becomes level 3, and if you're a Legendary in Arcana, it becomes level 4. Yeah, let's make kind of, I guess we're kind of making an Eldritch Knight-ish style character, or maybe just like a Mage Hunter fighter. Usher of Agony's going on a trip to the forest. Uh-oh, disadvantage. So, thank you for adding points to Usher, Darkwolf. Okay. So, pardon me. At level 2, we took our fighter feat and we took our skill feat. So now, there's a couple other things that we need to tend to every time we level up. Our level goes to 2, and therefore, our class DC increases by 1. And we're going to go down, let's see, as a fighter, you get 10 plus your con mod. So we're at 32 hit points at level 2. Unless I'm doing that incorrectly and it's not 10 plus con mod every time you level. Our proficiency goes up also, by the way, because that's based on our level. So every time you level up, 90% of your stats are going to change also. Two, 3, 2, 4. This is going to transform into a +0, +0. And we're going to do that a couple more times. Control C. We're going to Control V this here. Two goes to a 4. Proficiency is 2, goes to a 3. +0 goes to a +1. +0 goes to a +2. +0 goes to a +0. +0 goes to a +1. +2 goes to a +4. I see this as kind of time-consuming and a way for people to accidentally cheese their characters in between sessions. Because accidents do happen. Let's even take an optimistic view of things. I've had that happen where I forget to add something in between levels. That's on a much simpler system. Or you go back and you're redoing your math because there's so many variables involved. DJ Delta. It was, I was about to say iCarly. It was, hang on. It was iJoyce85 that won the monthly raffle. Currently, it is 1:27 a.m. on August 16th, 2018. So, adjust your clocks accordingly. Alright, so there we go. That's a level 2 fighter. Now, as I continue to reach for some more tortilla chips here. Now let's go to level 3. We get a general feat, a skill increase, and weapon mastery. Okay. So first things first. Choose a weapon group. Your proficiency rank increases to master with the simple and martial weapons in that group, and to expert with the exotic weapons. You gain access to the critical specialization effects of all simple and martial weapons in that group. Alright, so here... Weapon mastery. Swords, I guess. So now... because we're using a sword, while we normally only are, while we're an expert in martial weapons, we actually now go to a master level with a longsword because it is in a sword category of weapons. And therefore, we are going to add another proficiency. There we go. And that's going to bring us to 8. Swords, critical specialization. There we go. At 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, you gain a skill increase. You can use this increase to either become trained in a skill you're untrained in, or become an expert in one skill in which you're already trained. Okay? So let's go up here. And let's increase our arcana. It's all product placement for something I don't even sell. Let's become an expert in arcana, right? Our proficiency is going to go up 1. And that's going to go up there. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, we're at a +5. Int plus proficiency. And now we get a general feat. Okay. Oh. We're level 3. Add another 12. We're at 44. Man, we get hit points. We get some beastly hit points. All right, so we are choosing from these non-skill general feats, I guess. Because last level was a skill feat, specifically. Well, no, actually, it looks like some of these are considered general also. Not just a skill. Are any just skills? No, they're all... So they're all general, and most of them are also skills, but not all of them are skills. So I guess we could take a skill one as a general if we really wanted to. I don't know. Let's make let's look up Iron Will. You gain expert proficiency in will saves. That'll bring us up here and shore up our defenses. And give us a 4. Here. There we go. That was easy. Now, we need to continue rolling our level through everything, right? We're level 3, so that's our class DC. We got our hit points. Here's our proficiency. So this is going to go up to a 4, and this is going to go to a 5. Four, and 4 gives us 6, 4, and 5. Three and 3 gives us an 18 and a 16. Our modifiers stay the same. Our proficiency goes up to a 5, giving us a plus 9. And then we're just going to go down. That's a 3, 4, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 3 for our proficiency in the first line of skills. Second column, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. Rock, paper, fireball, yes. No D&D tortilla chips and Pathfinder potato chips. Can you find the surprise mimic in every bag? Reach in and find out! Insert Wilhelm scream off camera. 0, 6, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, minus 2, plus 2, minus 2. Okay. Now we're hitting level 4. That's going to be a fighter feat and a skill feat. And I think you can see how this progresses, right? Fighter feat, skill feat. At 5, we get ability boosts. We get the bravery, write down, bravery, ability boosts. At 5th level and every 5 levels thereafter, you boost 4 different ability scores. And you can use these to boost your ability scores. Or you can use these to you can use these ability boosts to increase your ability scores above 18. Boosting an ability score increases it by 1 if it's already 18 or above, or by 2 if it starts out below 18. So, Bubonic One, or anyone out there, leveling, with the exception of making sure you're tracking your different proficiencies and your different bonuses with them, making sure you're changing all your numbers, it's going to be going through and picking and choosing whatever feats that you want your character to have. As this just, it lays out before you, this is what you get at every level per the class. I think, like with D&D, making your first level is going to be what takes a lot of time. Leveling up might take longer because you're given so many different options at each level. Hi, Volvo. Leveling up your character is going to be what is... it's not going to take necessarily that much time, with the exception of making sure all your math is correct, and you've rippled it all the way across your sheet, and you're following any other quirks that are a part of your character. So you're going back and you're referencing all the different feats that are available to you. Ancestry feats, class feats, archetype feats, etc. and so forth. The character is going pretty well, Volvo. I'm comfortable, or I have the hang of it. It's just a lot of math that you need to make sure that you're keeping track of and that you're accurately recording so you don't accidentally influence your numbers incorrectly. But your class will tell you what you're getting at every level. All right, Usher. Well, I mean, hey, be safe. Don't let your electronics get fried. Hmm. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, DJ. Pardon me. Uh-oh, Usher's gonna go into the dungeon. Poison dart coming at Usher. You attack normally, so exclamation point 1d20. There is a lot of number tracking, Volvo. If this, not that it's impossible math. It's arithmetic. There's just a lot of different lines of it. Again, to go along with the sentiment of, I liked 4th edition. I think 4th edition was even more streamlined than what you're seeing here, even though this is 4th edition style Pathfinder, quote unquote. Despite them not wanting it to be, I guess it kind of turned out to be that way. There's just so many, there's a lot of variables that you have to keep track of, because your character is very nuanced. Usher wins! Alright, so Miss Awu, would you please award Usher of Agony 300 experience points? Good dodge there, by the way, Usher. That poison dart was coming right for your neck, and you just sort of, you limboed your way out of there. So yeah, Volvo, there is a lot to keep track of. I do find that it is distracting. I would feel also maybe unsure that, do I have everything added correctly? There's so many different lines. Did I take everything at my level? Because there's so many things that are there. There's so many options. And even with the options you chose, you can ask, well, did I choose correctly? Because remember, everything you take excludes everything else in the book that you did not take, by virtue of everything existing in this quantified fashion. So as I look here, I mean, we can see the differences quite easily, right? You sense the meta. You know, I guess something else that I guess I'd almost have to bring up the bestiary for some comparison. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to adjust the max hit points for that level too. Thank you, Usher. Oh, DJ Delta, thank you very much for that. Cheers to you as well. Sending a small healing potion. That's a great way of putting it. I didn't think of it like that, DJ. Yes, your health has increased. You're regenerating. Where Dark Wolf fell, DJ Delta, you shall prevail. So So you're getting like a class feature at 5th. You're getting one at 3rd. So I wonder then, because Bubonic one said rogues get stuff at every level. Third. But not one at 5th. But that's probably because you get rogue feat. No, rogue feat and rogue feat. Rogue feats, it's every even, yeah. But you are getting some different some different abilities here. So if we were to make a version of the spreadsheet that's ready to go, kind of what we do for our other generation, our D&D character generation. Class feats and features. Yeah, so like for example, here's 2 at 13, so we just have to separate them by a comma or something. So the progression... Oh, it's a skill increase that we're getting every level. So that we can become... we can train ourselves in all of the skills. Or rank up in one that we're already proficient in. I guess that's kind of a reflection of expert, right? Expertise. But we can only break... that we can only break what rank is that? We can only break expert even with a rogue if it is a signature skill, which we have to indicate here. Again, a lot of variables. If there was an automatic calculator sheet, which I'm sure there will be at some point in time, this process would be a lot more streamlined, right? All you do is you put like character level 4. And then all your proficiencies change based on the check marks of the variables that you have. I mean, look, ultimately in the grand scheme of things, hashtag first world problems. I completely understand that. So if I'm being kind of grumpy at this process, or with any RP system, even if I'm grumpy with D&D, and that's our bread and butter here, I have the broad mind and context that of, ultimately, look, we're on Twitch, we're using the internet to talk about a roleplay session, and there's a lot more important things to actually lose sleep over and to be grumpy about than what we see here. Well, it's not... it's not user friendly. There's just a lot to keep track of. And if the math works and that's how they balance it, that's fine, but there is just a lot to keep track of. There are so many options you can have. And also, when I see a sheet like this, I'm very concerned that even veteran role players, let alone beginners, for new users, for people who want to, I want to learn my first role playing game. I want to learn Pathfinder. And when you do that, and the emphasis is on maximizing your scores and increasing your numbers, and everything is a number increaser. Everything is a mechanic. Everything is mechanized. Everything has a slot. And when you choose something, it denies you the ability to do other things. And I find that is suppressive and stifling on its face. I would agree. I would not. Now look, for all of you out there, if you don't know, I own a game store. And you know what? I am going to have Pathfinder stocked on my shelf. And so I need to make sure that I can do what I'm doing here with you. I can look you in the eyes, and I can give an honest recommendation about why should you invest, I don't know what the core rulebook will be, $50, $60? Something like that, maybe? Why should you give me $60 for this rulebook? I need to be able to look you in the eye and tell you, why am I stocking this, other than I just hope to make a sale. And I do think that if you love character customization, this is the game for you. If you like a very crunch-heavy, a very intertwined game, this is definitely a game for you. If you like mechanical nuances, or min-maxing, or care-op, or other things like that, this is the game for you. Because you can super fine-tune your character to just be a DPR machine. Or to have spells that no one can resist. And so you're gonna have like some Smogon build Pokemon. Because that's kind of like, in reading this, like, we're talking, this is, Pathfinder's kind of on the level of professional Pokemon play, where you're breeding your Pokemon specifically. You're giving them a specific moveset. You're breeding them for IVs, and you're training them with EVs. And then on top of that, you're gonna mix them with other custom bred, other like super specialized Pokemon in order to present a team that will win against the other team. DJ asks, why should we invest $60 for this over a D&D book or the like? Well, DJ, if you came into my store and asked me that, Pathfinder is different, as it's built on an older edition of D&D, where there are many more options for you to choose from than you'll find in 5th edition. If you want a more streamlined game, a more beginner-friendly game, purchase D&D. If you want maybe, a mid-advanced tier RPG, because this is not nearly as complex as other systems that exist. If you love character customization through rules and options and feats, then you would purchase this game over Dungeons and Dragons, where even feats are optional. Like, as per the player's handbook, it says, chapter 6, all the feats here, these are completely optional. You don't have to play with them. Yeah, Usher, I am going to do that, actually. I was looking to see if maybe I had that open in my one folder here. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'm going to have to go digging for it. But yes, I will open up the bestiary so we can take a look and see. Because look, you're getting AC and you're getting an advancement in your ability to hit every time you level up. And this game goes to 20. So this is also a game of big numbers and mini numbers. So, it's a spreadsheet simulator. It's an accounting... well, I can't even call it an accounting minigame. Yes, DJ, there are more complicated systems than Pathfinder. Pathfinder Pathfinder is not complicated. There's just a lot to it. And so you have to remember a lot of simple to medium tier aspects of the game. Look, if we go to, let's go to what I said in my closing argument of this system is going to be the most useful part of this book. And it's right here. It's the glossary. It's the glossary in the appendix, Yep, got it. Landscape. Here we go. Because everything has a name, everything has a mechanic, everything has a particular meaning in Pathfinder. And so you're really, the back of the book is going to be used greatly. All these pages of reference. This is just the index, by the way. And above this is the glossary for all the terms as well. So about, what, 20 pages of reference? I would say so, DJ. I would find myself referencing the back of the book frequently because there's a lot of vocabulary terms that you have to learn along the way. About animal companions? Well, I imagine that would be in... Well, I don't know. Let's go to it real quick. Ranger. You gain the service of a young animal companion that travels with you and obeys simple commands to the best of its abilities. See Animal Companions on 284. So, DJ, I want to be careful, and for everyone out there, I want to make sure that my any confusion or frustration I have with this system doesn't turn into some kind of, meme of, oh, Matt's not liking Pathfinder again, or anything along those lines, or, oh, it's the popular thing to do, let's dig in Pathfinder. It's a different system. It has its own expectations. It's like, heck, for those people who may be very well versed in World of Darkness and have played Vampire for years and years, and suddenly your storyteller says, hey, let's play Mage. Mage is on a similar chassis, but it is a completely different system. And you, ooh. As a Mage player and a Vampire player, by the way. All right, so Usher, let's review Animal Companions for you again real quick. I'm more curious as well as asking what others might ask you in your game store. Yeah, if you have questions or you want to roleplay a customer coming in and asking about it, I'm fine with that completely. Because what's important to me, DJ, is that I have integrity as a salesman. If someone comes in and sees a product that I chose to stock on my shelf, why did you stock it? Why should I buy it? Will you offer me continued support? Whether or not that's a direct question asked, that doesn't matter, because you have to be prepared for those things. How can I give you an honest recommendation to play Pathfinder as a store owner? And I can't do it like that. It would take some conversation. It would take getting to know what other systems have you played? What are you familiar with? Is this your first role-playing game? So I would have to ask some exploratory questions first before I could make a recommendation. And you know what? I do have the integrity to say no. I don't think Pathfinder is the right system for what you've said. Not that I wouldn't sell it to them if they really want to buy it. But what I don't want to have happen is someone who is new to role playing. You know, you come in and you have this attitude, yeah, you know, infinite worlds are laying out in front of me, and I have, I'm optimistic. I have a group of friends. We're all going to do this together. You know, we're a bunch of scrappy adventurers going out on our last summer vacation, huzzah, and we want to role play. And suddenly, I sell them a book that when they crack the cover, they go, "Whoa, hold on, what? Man, is this role playing? All I'm doing is adjusting numbers. I want to, kill dragons and beat back zombies, and I want to climb mountains and all this other stuff. I don't want to run a spreadsheet." And then they get turned off to role playing because all of a sudden, and whether this is D&D, World of Darkness, anything like that, okay? I'm not even just, I'm not just being critical of Pathfinder. That can turn people off from the hobby. And I know what the hobby can do in a positive manner for people, as individuals or as groups. And so, like, delving into it and poking it and prodding it, asking questions of the system is important for this understanding. So I can make a decent recommendation to you in my audience, here or on Discord. Or if you stopped into my store and you said, "Matt, why should I drop 60 bucks on this book?" And I might just tell you, you shouldn't. I don't think that this is for what you're saying you want to do. I don't think Pathfinder is going to give you that experience. Because I'll ask you all this, all right? What can't you do in Dungeons and Dragons that you can do in Pathfinder? Let's reverse it a little bit. Let's look at the same side of, or a different side of the same coin. And you know what? Let's not even talk about mechanics. It is clear night and day that the mechanics are going to be different. They run on a similar engine, right? A D20 style with, progression. What can't you do in a simplified D&D world that you can do in a more complex Pathfinder world? It's a good and expensive, Dragon, I will say yes and no to that. If you purchase the player's handbook for D&D, yeah, you know what? That's $50, or depending on where you get it, a little more, a little less. That's $50 out of your pocket all at once. That's the price of many board games. And how much? Board games are meant to be replayable, at least the vast majority of them, unless you're going for that extreme mode of paranoia or some others. Or not paranoia. Pandemic. But think about this, Opal Dragon. You invest $50 into a game that you can play for the rest of your life. Even if other editions come out, that doesn't affect your book. That doesn't affect your tabletop. You can still play this game forever with the rules that are there. You can come up with infinite combinations of characters and worlds, which is actually the bread and butter of this channel. We primarily stick to the core 3 rule books. And we have created unique individual characters and wonderfully rich parties by using most only the player's handbook. And so in the long term, it's one of the least expensive hobbies you can have for maximum enjoyment. In fact, If you want to know a dirty little secret, hey, shh, come here. A little closer, come here. Ready? Here, oh, I'll turn down the music. All right. For many game stores, role-playing actually isn't a very profitable part of the business. And you know the reason why that is? Because once you buy the book, that's it. If we're talking from a purely commercial standpoint, role-playing in game stores is not a very profitable part of the business. Because once you have that player's handbook, you're good. I don't say this begrudgingly, by the way. And you know what? Only one person in a group, yeah. You know, a group might have a couple copies floating around. It would be rare or wonderful if everyone in a play session had their own book. But even if they did, sure, you made 6 sales of the player's handbook, to the DM and to the 5 players. And then you sold 1 DMG and 1 monster manual. So, yeah, yeah, I guess it was kind of some ASMR. But you know what? Once you have those core books, unless you're investing in peripherals like miniatures, like battle mats, dice, splat books, other paraphernalia or merchandise like shirts and stuff, once you've invested that initial $50, $60 into the hobby, you don't have to invest hardly anything else. Do you have a set of dice? Even an old, like, I don't know, you got it for $2, $3 because it's a one solid color. You know, they're like, I have a set of dice. They're like Tootsie Pop brown or Tootsie Roll brown with white letters. Like super basic dice. You could probably pick them up at a local store for maybe, I don't know, $4, maybe $5. Once you have that and the core rulebook, you're done. Unless you want to run, in which case, hey, you could either borrow someone else's book or you could buy your own. So there might be some ancillary sales. Yes, Opal Dragon. The core of role-playing games, and it could even be Pathfinder. It could be D&D, the bread and butter, the most popular, the world's greatest role-playing game as it markets itself, right? The books alone aren't a very large profit center as compared to things like card games or other things. And so that's why, exactly, Opal Dragon, I carry the peripherals. Because, you know, miniatures, you know, like the miniatures that we raffle here on the channel, I mean, these add to the game, but is this Drow Archmage miniature, is this necessary to play D&D? No. But it's helpful, it's fun. And that's why I do the miniatures as a fundraising for the channel, too. In fact, I know that you said Usher was blocking a part, but I'll throw this back up. You know, so we have these boxes that we do sell, and you'll get the rare piece or the large uncommon out of it. For only 10, actually. When the retail price is 15, 16, upwards of 18, depending on the set. And so things like the dice, people love collecting dice. It turns into its own thing. Do you only need one set? Yes. Do people have more than one set? Yes. And that's a reason why I need to do more than just stock the books. And that's also why I need to make sure, that if you're going to invest in a role-playing game in my store's community, hopefully, I'll actually say I hope that your local game stores community isn't like this, where they'll just sell you a book and say, okay, that's cool. Now, you know, if you come back, please buy something else. If you're going to buy product, I need to make sure that you can get invested in it, which is like what Memory Lab said. The thing with RPGs, once you're in, you're in. But if your first taste of a role-playing game is a convoluted dumpster fire, and I know we're talking about Pathfinder, I'm not implying it. If I thought Pathfinder was a convoluted dumpster fire, I would be brave enough to just say so on camera. But it could be anything. I mean, we're just talking generic roleplay system. If your first experience with role-playing, after getting hyped up and you say, yeah, I'm going to hold money aside for my checks that I could be using on car payments or to buy cat food or whatever else, whatever other bills or life expenses, suddenly you come into my store and drop 50, 60 bucks and you bring home just a pile of hot garbage and you stop role-playing because of that. You address D&D or Pathfinder with suspicion. Suddenly, not only have I lost a customer, I've lost energy in my community. I've lost some happiness that someone who could have had years, a lifetime of fun and enjoyment and socialization and personal growth and exploration had that stifled because they got overwhelmed with expectation or hype. I mean, look, we're on a platform on Twitch here where hype is a big part of things. You know, hype can work, not in the long run, because hype is hollow. So where do you find that meaningful interaction? I can see Pathfinder as a meaningful, you know, it's a group of people getting together role-playing, and they'll certainly be helping each other. In fact, to go back, you said, one of you said something about a DM. Sorry, I've been missing some of the chat here. That shame on me. Opal Dragon, Warhammer 40k is still under development, but is out for playtest, I believe. Or at least that's what I watched on Saver Dice on YouTube. I'm curious about Animal Companions. Yeah, Usher, I'm sorry, we have Animal Companions up. We'll get to them here. I got on a bit of a soapbox. Sorry about that. A customer might ask, how DM friendly is this game? Or what's the difference between this version and the old version? DJ, I would have to talk with other customers who've played First Edition Pathfinder because I have not. And so that is an excellent question to ask, but also one that I'm going to have to research because I couldn't tell you. Other than the fact that it was based on 3.5 D&D, and so it was also a rather complex system. DJ says, no clue about the difference between this and D&D due to never really playing Pathfinder 1 or 2. Of course, D&D worlds can get just as complicated if the DM allows it. Yes, I agree. I mean, we are the final gatekeepers, Memory Lapse. Volvo called me out on blasphemy. All right, then there's our ASMR. DJS, can I ask what you prefer, pre-painted miniatures or unpainted ones? I prefer unpainted miniatures in the case that I actually had the time to paint. As I personally do not have the time to paint, and I really wish I did, because if you all saw my unpainted miniature collection, ooh-wee, you all would, oof. You'd oof. It is quite a collection. So, I prefer unpainted. However, I am perfectly happy with pre-painted miniatures because I just don't have the time to sit down and paint all of them. Maybe I could do a secondary broadcast of me starting to actually paint my miniatures. Some of them, though, I can't show on camera because Twitch would get upset with me. Usher has 12 sets of dice. You want each dice to represent each damage type? Oh, gotcha. So if it's cold damage, you're rolling blue or whatever. I know others who do that, Usher. It's a uncommon tactic. Will you end up running a few sessions of Pathfinder in your game store so others can learn? I want at least 3 sets of dice per character. I don't know if I'm going to be running Pathfinder. I have nothing against people wanting to run Pathfinder in the store. I'm not going to forbid it. I would love for someone to come in and actually be a Pathfinder guy or girl who will run in and run Pathfinder Society or pre-made adventure content in the store. I personally do not have... Look, I have to make time to run D&D. I haven't been to Dark Wolf's game. Like, I've tried to make it to her game that she runs in my game store. I've tried to make it on Wednesdays, and that's difficult. And then I have my public D&D game that I run on Thursdays. And there's even times where, like, I might be running behind there or whatnot. So, you know, just due to the fact that it's just not my realm of expertise, and I personally just don't have the time, and to be frank with you all, I don't really have an interest in running Pathfinder. Everything Pathfinder does, I can do in Dungeons and Dragons and have it be more accessible and more simple for people to learn. As a DM, or in this case a GM, because that's the generic term, not the copywritten DM. As a GM, I do not find a benefit in running Pathfinder. Personally. This is Matty Morg's personal opinion. Not even a professional. My personal opinion. Why would I run this system personally when I can do everything Pathfinder can do in Dungeons and Dragons with my character sheets looking like this? If you out there have a different opinion, whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube later, that's perfectly fine. And in fact, I would love for someone out there to tell me why you would run Pathfinder. What would Pathfinder bring you to run? What does it enable you to do? Because right now, I don't have an answer, and so I have to go to my default of, I've run D&D for so long, I'm very familiar with it, and I don't feel like I need to change systems to accomplish the same thing in a generic Western European fantasy world. Memory says, what I would do as a store owner is always offer afternoons or after hours one-shot games so people can learn to or just play. It's organized play. If any of you out there are working for a game store, you own one, or you dream to someday, organized play is something that you must do. You must have organized play of some fashion. You don't mind waiting, no rush. Okay, thank you for your patience, Usher. Hold like sign-up polls to get into the game, no fees. Volvo, you gotta sleep. Oh, all right, hey, Volvo, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out. Be well. You still need to get more sets. My friend buys a new set for each character she makes. And these were this character. And, oh, I remember the time. Yeah, you attach sentiment and nostalgia to dice sets. It happens. Opal Dragon, my local game store is about an hour away, and the last one I was in was itself a dumpster fire, but that was because of the store's layout, and I love both Pathfinder and D&D, but I do find Pathfinder a lot more complicated. I'm sorry to hear that your well, local, I guess is relative if it's an hour there. I'm sorry to hear that your local game store, Opal, though, is a bit of a dumpster fire in that regard. Dark Wolf, whenever I finish Lost Mine of Fandelver, if you ever need to take a Wednesday off, I'd be happy to run one-shots too. Well, I don't know if I could go back to running on Wednesdays, Dark Wolf. At least not immediately. Just with life circumstances right now. I can do Thursdays, but doing a regular Wednesday. So if you want to run one shots, or if you would like, I can supply you. I can supply you with mods. Like, I don't know if you want to run Curse of Strahd also. Or there's Storm King's Thunder. Or I'm sorry, no, is it? Yeah, I think it's Storm King's Thunder. There's a lot of other things. If you want to run modules in an open setting, Dark Wolf, I can give you the module as a thank you, and as long as you go in and run it for people, then you can have the book. DJ, my local game store is about 2 hours away, and it's more of a general hobby shop. Usher, you're recommending Elemental Evil? You know, I'm actually coming up to the end of the Curse of Strahd in my run through, and it'll be kind of a straw poll about what they want to go through next. So, all right. So, animal companions for characters. Now, a fighter in this case isn't going to get one, at least not through normal means. But let's say that we were running a ranger for you, Usher. Animal companions are loyal comrades who follow your orders. They have the minion trait, so they gain 2 actions during your turn if you use the command an animal action to command them. This is in place of the usual effects of command an animal. If your companion dies, you can spend a week of downtime to replace it at no cost. You can have only a single animal companion. You or an ally can ride your animal companion as long as it is at least one size larger than the rider. If you do, it can use only its land speed unless it has the mount special ability. In addition, if someone is riding your animal companion and doesn't have the mount special ability, you can't use the work together action. The following are base statistics for a starting animal companion, a young companion. Make adjustments for the type of animal, as well as adjustments for full-grown, savage, or nimble, and any specializations. And so here, this is where, again, there are now 3.5, I guess, 4 different types of animal companions. In D&D, you get an animal companion, and there it is. Do you like keeping track of all of this stuff? This is an aspect of Pathfinder that you might like. You might actually want to get this young companion and say, yeah, I'm going to watch it grow up and do that. Not that you can't in D&D, but this mechanically enforces certain rules, certain stat blocks. Again, it allows you to min-max your animal companion in a way that perhaps you couldn't min-max an animal companion in D&D. Oh, no, I know, Memory. We've brought up the alien technology. There's antimatter rays. There's black powder as muskets or automatic rifles. There's hand grenades. There's mines and bombs. Yeah. It's not just fantasy. Yep, exactly, Memory. For D&D, there's Storm King's Thunder, Wayward Portal, or you mean Yawning Portal, and Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, and there's a couple others as well. So we'll see what will replace Curse of Strahd, and how I can torture my players on the following Thursdays. All right, so we have the following are base statistics for a starting animal companion. Okay, so we went through there. Your animal companion uses your level to determine its proficiency modifier. It's trained in unarmed strikes, unarmored defense, barding, all saving throws, perception, acrobatics, and athletics. Animal companions can't use abilities that require greater intelligence, such as coerce or decipher writing, even if trained in the appropriate skill, unless they have a specialization that allows it. Your animal companion begins with base ability modifiers of Strength 2, Dex 1, Con 0, Int -4, Wiz +1, Charisma -1. Your animal companion has ancestry hit points from its type, plus a number of hit points for each of your levels equal to 6 plus its constitution modifier. Now we go into full-grown companions. Make the following adjustments to a young companion to make it a full-grown companion. Increase the companion's strength, dex, con, and whiz modifiers by 1. Increase its unarmed strike damage from 1 die to 2. Increase its proficiency rank for perception and all saving throws to expert. If your companion is medium or smaller, it grows in size by 1 category. Make the following adjustments to a full-grown companion to make it a nimble companion. Increase the companion's dexterity modifier by 2 and its strength, con, and whiz by 1. Increase its unarmed strike damage from 2 dice to 3. Increase its proficiency rank in acrobatics to expert and its proficiency rank in unarmored defense to expert. It also learns its type's advanced actions or activity. Savage companions. Make the following adjustments to a full-grown companion to make it a savage companion. Increase the companion's strength modifier by 2 and its dex, con, whiz by 1. Increase its unarmed strike damage from 2 dice to 3 dice. Increase its proficiency rank in athletics to expert. It also learns its type of advanced action or activity. If your companion is medium or smaller, it grows in size by 1 category. Each companion type grants several benefits. The size entry indicates your companion's starting size as a young companion. The unarmed strike entry lists any unarmed strikes the animal has. The abilities entry lists which 2 ability modifiers the companion increases by 1. The hit points entry indicates the companion's starting ancestry hit points. The skill entry indicates your companion's additional trained skill. The senses entry, if present, lists your companion's special senses other than low light vision, which all animals have. The speed entry lists your companion's speed and other movement types. The special entry, if present, lists any other special abilities your companion has, including whether it ordinarily serves as a mount and is appropriate for mounted classes, such as the paladin. The work together benefit entry indicates a special benefit you gain by using command an animal to command the animal to use the work together action, see below. Whew. The advanced maneuver entry indicates a powerful new action or activity your companion learns how to use if it becomes a nimble or savage companion. And so here we have a badger type. So badger, wolverine, or another big mustelid. And so you get, badger rage. You can get a bear type. You can get a panda bear if you want a panda bear. And you can get a burb. An eagle, hawk, or an owl. Or a cat. And if none of those work for you, you can get a dromaeosaur. Or a raptor. You want a horse? You can take a horse as an animal companion. Or you can have a wolf. Yeah, a wolf. And of course, there are several benefits and special phrases, abilities, definitions that you can use for each of these companions. And so it'd be up to you to decide which one you would want as your character once you have that option of taking it. Because there are some out there that think that Pathfinder offers sci-fi, whereas D&D doesn't, and that's what some think is the one-up over D&D. Well, they also have Starfinder. So you can play, Pathfinder in space. And Starfinder is its own system. I keep running Wednesdays if I need to, though. Do you know of a mod that starts at level 5? I know my players are pretty attached to their characters, and I wouldn't mind continuing from the end of Lost Mines. Oh, there you go. So it looks like Memory hooked you up. Yeah, you can also get Tales from the Yawning Portal. There are several in there. Also, when the new Undermountain mod comes out, it comes out in 2 parts. It's level 1 to 5, and then level 6 to 20. Usher, yes, this is more confusing or more convoluted than D&D. But if you like options and you don't mind reading and considering all the options before you, you know, if you're a min-maxer at heart, then this is the system for you. Oh yeah, hey, remember? Yeah, you got that Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It takes players 5 to 20. Exactly. Opal, did you hear about D&D and MTG? Yes. Ravnica, in fact, there is a... Hey, Calamity. Oh, that's an adorable emote. In fact, there's an Unearthed Arcana out right now. And I put a link to it in our Discord. But there is an Unearthed Arcana that goes over the races of Ravnica. Now, it is playtest material. It is not officially D&D. But it is thrown out there by a D&D dev team to see, is it balanced? Does it work? What's going on with everything? And then you can have specialized companions. Your companion can be an ambusher, a bully, a daredevil, a racer, a tracker, or a wrecker. So you can say, you know, my no longer is my companion young, but is a full-grown, nimble bully, and you just have entire stat sheets and everything based around your nimble bully, full-grown animal companion. I don't know offhand memory. I can do a little bit of distributor research and find out for you. Yeah, sure. I'm happy to do so. If you need me to go back into another section and reread, let me know. Yeah, it'll be a big crossover event, Opal Dragon. There are evil eyes, DJ. I don't know if they kept Evil Eye as a monster type, but if you go back into old Magic, there are Evil Eye monsters, or cards that you can summon. All right, I'm going to get up and take about a 5-minute refresher. I'm gonna go get a sody pop, do a little stretch, and I'll come back and I don't know. We'll see where the conversation goes from here. If you want to continue leveling up Rando Charizian, we can do so. If you want to go through some of the minutia of the rulebook, we can even crack open the bestiary and take a look there too. Oh, they changed them to Gorgons? Yeah, because there was a big consolidation a while ago. So, all right, everyone. Let's take about 5 minutes, and we will BRB, huh?